Florida Senator Marco Rubio is speaking right now. So on that, let us listen in here.
Marco, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here. And thank you for the invitation. Tim Scott is a great colleague of mine. I've enjoyed very much getting to know him and very much appreciate the work he's already putting in. And his message is really an uplifting one. We'll talk about that a little bit today, because I think conservatism at the end of the day is about upward mobility, about individual empowerment, about the chance to achieve your dreams. And I don't think anyone embodies that more in the United States Senate than Tim Scott. And I know he's proud to serve each of you in the United States Senate. And it's great being with Trey Gowdy as well. I think he's done a phenomenal job of accountability, of holding people accountable. As you followed on the news, he takes his job extremely seriously. And I have tremendous admiration for the work he's doing and has been doing for quite some time. And it's an honor to be with both of them here in South Carolina. A couple points I wanted to start with. Had I known I was going to run for president 20 years ago, I would have gone to the University of South Carolina. Call it bad planning, I suppose. And now, I had some extensive remarks this evening. Unfortunately, they were on my server at home, so I've lost those. So I'm going to wing it for like 6 minutes, and then I'm going to listen to your questions. Community and local banks are the key to capital access for a small business. You know, if you're a small startup business, you're not going to go into Wells Fargo or Citibank and get a loan. They don't do those kinds of things. You relied on your local community banker, your regional bank, to provide that source of funding for you. Those banks are vanishing because of Dodd-Frank. Dodd-Frank has created a mountain of regulations that these middle-sized banks and smaller cannot comply with. So they go out of business. And so the access that people once had to capital has vanished as well. So if we can do these sorts of things, in addition to the well-trained workforce, suddenly empowerment, small business formation becomes possible again. And I don't want to leave out one more mention of student loans, because our entrepreneurial class is always going to continue to be fed by new people that enter the workspace, or someone who's worked somewhere for a few years that believes they have a good idea and wants to put it into practice. If you owe $50,000 in student loans, you can't start a business. You need a steady paycheck in order to pay those loans. So that's also been an impediment to small business formation for many younger Americans. We've got to do all of these things to create an environment where small business can succeed again.
Thank you.
We've been listening to Republican presidential candidate Marco Rubio speaking live during a presidential town hall series in South Carolina. Today, he discussed why he's running for president. He says he wants America to continue to be the kind of country where people can continue to do for their children what his parents did for him, where they can fully achieve the American dream and retire with dignity and security and leave their children better off than they were before. But he said right now higher education is too expensive and that Americans are economically and educationally frustrated. On business, he stressed more businesses are dying than starting in America these days, and we need to reform our tax code with a regulatory budget. Businesses shouldn't be taxed at more than 25%. Then he answered a question on education by saying we don't want Common Core or the federal government running our schools, and that we need to reinvigorate vocational education and open up federal financial aid so those students are ready to work right away. Bottom line, we need to get people in office who can correct what is going on so that Americans can get back on track toward achieving the American dream, which he believes is not about amassing great wealth, but rather about achieving great happiness. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott is holding this presidential town hall series to give 2016 GOP candidates a chance to connect with the voters. And so today they got a chance to get to know Rubio a little bit better. Let's go to break, but stay with us. Our coverage continues right after this here on One America News.